Doom Nation, we are back, and we are in a new spot thanks to our friend Abart over here. We are at Pete's Saloon. Doom Nation, as always, thank you for joining us. It's Skaggs and the Captain, as always. As usual, please like, share, and subscribe us. We're getting the subscriptions. We want to keep them rolling. Thank you guys for all the views. We really appreciate it. We're actually starting to get some back and forth with some listeners, which is pretty cool. I've seen that going down on YouTube a lot.
Yeah, there's been a couple spam posts on our YouTube comments. It's weird.
So you want to tell them what we're doing today and where?
So we came to visit our buddy Anthony here. You want to go by Abart or Anthony?
Whichever one, doesn't matter. Anthony, Abart, asshole, scumbag, whatever it is. Whatever it is.
And we're at his place called Pete's Saloon. It's in Elmsford, New York. And we're going to talk a little bit about like how COVID lockdowns, restrictions, Cuomo, all that stuff, how it affected business.
Yep.
And what else?
Well, as you guys have known from the last episode, we are raffling off a PS5 digital edition. The donor is going to take a portion of the funds that we make and donate them to the small business funds. And hopefully a place like this could get some of these small business funds. Dave Portnoy, help our boy Anthony out over here.
Yes, please.
Yeah. So it's $55 an entry. We need to have a minimum of 30 entries for this raffle to take place. If you prove that you follow us on Instagram and subscribe to us on YouTube, you get a $5 discount. So with that being said, let's help these small businesses. Let's get somebody a PS5, and let's start the show.
Let's do it.
Yep. What we got here? Some Bullet Bourbon,
Yes,
boys.
first
Cheers.
of all.
To Cuomo.
Yeah. To Cuomo getting impeached tonight.
Yeah.
From your mouth to God's ears.
I like how easy everybody was. Just bullet on the rocks.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
We're all
just
set.
simple. Just get it done.
Bourbon.
So let's start with my first question, I guess. I know it was always like your dream to own a restaurant. So Pete's Saloon was already here, right? You I guess took over. You bought it,
Yeah.
right? When did that happen? Like, when did you buy it?
You ready for the can just to get opened
Yes,
up?
go for it.
So
Go nuts.
March 11th, 2020.
Oh no! I
I wake up, find out my wife's pregnant, thinking life is great, life's awesome, right? March 15th, Cuomo shuts it down. I was supposed to put pen to paper March 19th.
Oh my God.
So the one good thing he did for me, he shut it down when he did, right? Deal happened back in July, August of 19. We kept throwing things around, back and forth, numbers here and there, because I have the building as well.
Hold on a second.
Oh, you're good. Sorry.
Yeah, don't step
Hey,
on
you
that.
or me?
No, we stepped on the headset thing.
Sorry. It's a portable setup this time.
Yeah.
So
On the
technical
fly.
difficulties.
No, so we have the building as well as the restaurant. So we were going back and forth in the real estate deal, making the numbers lined up, making sure his tax returns lined up to everything. So things got pushed back. I'm sitting there going, let's go. March 1st. I wanted St. Patrick's Day, right? We all know what
Yeah.
St. Patrick's Day is. Thank God I didn't.
Keep talking. It's fine.
I was in talks, looking at a lot of different places. Westchester Burger Company over in Rye was a place I was looking at. They had just went out. And then I found out why they went out. The landlord wanted $29,000 a month in rent. So it's kind of, it kind of made sense. So the deal came about for here. One owner, 43 years. Great customer base, great staff. And it was easy to do. It was an easy deal to do. The owner was motivated to get out. He wanted to retire. He had his house ready to go for him, built down in the Carolinas. He couldn't wait to get out of New York, and it just worked out for me. It really
That's
did.
great.
That's awesome.
It's a step in the right direction. That's what I keep saying.
Definitely.
Yeah.
When someone writes my autobiography in 20 years, they're gonna pick this is the chapter. Like, who the fuck has a baby and buys a restaurant in a pandemic?
Yeah.
Yeah, at the worst possible time ever.
It was an interesting time to start.
I mean, I looked at my wife. I'm like, cool. I'm gonna fake my own death, move to Arizona. You can collect the life insurance, take care of the kid.
That was a real option too, probably.
I was ready to make phone calls.
Yeah, it's funny that you say that too, because we had a buddy who got married the weekend after the election, and I was like, you understand, we might have to have this wedding in like the woods with like shotguns and stuff. We might be part of the resistance by then.
I mean, it's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. 2020 was just such a disaster of a year.
Yeah, this could not have been easy.
Yeah, it definitely wasn't easy, and it wasn't. Disaster for me is tough to say because
Yeah, that's okay. I think there's like a power surge or something maybe that's affecting it, but it's still recording.
Did I pay the Con Ed bill? Yeah, I did.
He shut. Cuomo's already on us, bro. He's gonna shut you down for talking bad.
Yeah,
about
no.
him.
I mean, listen. 2020 was obviously horrible for everybody. I don't like to downplay the situation because, look, people did die. The virus is out there. I'm not a non-virus believer. I'm not a, this is all bullshit, it's made up, the government's making it up just to get Trump out and blah, blah, blah. Like, it's there. I get it.
Yeah.
But for me, it's like, yeah, it sucked, but I had a kid, doing well.
You got priorities.
Left my other job, got this place going. It's like, all right, yeah, it was a step. It was a speed bump. That's how I'm going to look at it.
Yeah. You're making the best of it, I guess you could say.
Yeah, I mean, look.
Speed bumps is a pretty fair way to put
it.
Yeah.
Think of it this way. If you make it through this, like, it's smooth sailing, because I can't imagine it's going to get too much worse.
Exactly. I mean, that's the thing. Look, the biggest thing that hurts us is the capacity restrictions. That's what hurts us. You know, when I get calls from people who want to come and do a party for, 35, 55 people, it's like, yeah, I could do it for you, but you can't have more than 10 people at your table. Like, if your immediate family is 12, you got to have an awkward conversation.
Yeah, that was actually one of the questions I was going to ask you. Like, right now, what is the restrictions? Like, what are the guidelines they're telling you guys to do?
50% capacity. Everyone has to order food, because if you don't eat, COVID gets you.
Yes. And if you stand up, COVID gets you.
If you stand up, it gets you, but if you're sitting down, it doesn't get you.
Right now, we're safe. We're at the table. I don't have to have my mask on. Right? Nope. We're totally
we are completely safe. This is a safe space here.
Yes.
This is a safe space.
But if we stand up, that's
it.
Death. Okay.
Death right away. So 50% social distance. Staff has to wear masks. Temperature checks everybody. When there was an issue in the Elmsford area back in November, I think. I sent out my staff. They went and got tested. Anyone who didn't have insurance, we picked up the check for it. Health department came in, brought them upstairs, showed them all the records.
Really? So they came in?
Well, they came in because somebody put something out there that Saloon. So Saloon, they called it Saloon. So it was easy to figure out who did it. Everybody has COVID. The whole place has COVID. Like, that couldn't be the furthest.
So fake news already off the bat.
Exactly. So I'm like, all right, cool. So the inspector came in, same guy who did my inspection in September when I took over. Nice guy, didn't break any rules. Was like, you have all your paperwork. I gave him the New York Forward plan that Cuomo made everybody put together. Showed him every employee's file. I'm like, I can't show you the full file because it's confidential. I'm like, here are all their negative tests. There's no positive results anywhere. They're all rapid and PCRs that are both double negatives. I'm like, I covered myself, everyone's fine, and nobody's forced to work. I told the staff, listen, if you feel unsafe and you think someone may have it and you want to take off, that's your right. I'll pay you pursuant to the law. Back then, I think it was 14 days. Now they're allowed 10 days paid. Okay. Which, for a small business, that hurts.
Yeah.
But what am I going to do? I mean, that's someone who works here, who's been here. I mean, my newest staff member's been here 7 years.
Oh, wow. I was going to say, did you lose anyone?
No.
Okay.
We haven't lost anybody. Newest staff member's been here 7 years. My longest tenured one is 31, because I'll be 32 in July.
Wow.
So when you were born, he started working here.
Pretty much.
And now you're his boss.
Yeah.
It's weird. It's weird. It's very weird, but it's fun.
So just to backtrack, you didn't really take over until
no. September 8th we closed. We came here to open that morning. Find out from the people who do the POS system that the old owner accidentally took the whole server instead of just the USB drive. So we actually opened up on 9/11.
Oh wow.
Okay. So you weren't really affected by the non-essential business closure.
No. So I didn't get affected by it. If anything, I actually benefited a little bit.
Bought you time.
Well, bought me time, and because he shut down for 2 months instead of staying open for just takeout, when we went back to the negotiating table, between myself, my attorneys, his attorneys, everybody, we were going back and forth. I'm like, well, you legally didn't have to close. I was purchasing a business that was open. Now it's a business that was open, it closed, it's a pandemic, everyone knows the place. Now I have to worry about the PR coming back at me. It's like, why did they close for 2 months? Did somebody get COVID? Did Pete, the old owner, did he get COVID? Is that why he sold? Like, I don't want to deal with that kind of stuff.
That's a good point.
And I don't want him to deal with it either. I mean, my big thing to him and the staff when I took over was, listen, this is same book, new chapter. We're not changing the name. We changed the logo up. We're going to do a little bit of renovations inside, nothing major. But in a sense, I'm carrying on his legacy.
Yeah.
It's his name that's on the building. Yes, I'm the one who's here, but I don't want that negative PR.
No.
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 Right.
So it actually helped a little bit.
Yeah, it's annoying how the whole situation could kind of, people could just make something up on social media or spin some sort of narrative. Maybe you have like somebody who didn't like the restaurant or didn't like
or
Pete,
just didn't like
you know, or
like
didn't like you, right? And they'll just
15.
make something up, post it on social media, and now you have the health department coming down on you.
Yeah,
you know, we've
crazy.
become the nanny state.
Everybody's got to overlook you. Have you ran into any issues with any health inspectors or anything like that?
Health inspectors, no. Karens, yes.
Okay.
I've had customers come in and literally tell me, I want my table 8 feet apart. I'm like, miss, it's a Saturday night, 7 o'clock. I'm allowed 70 people in the restaurant.
I don't care if you're 69 and 70.
I'm like, it's 6 feet. It is what it is.
Yeah.
He's like, no, I want 8. I was like, okay. I'm like, do me a favor. Go in your car, go to your house, take your dining room table, and space it 8 feet from your kitchen table, and go home and eat. Like, this isn't McDonald's. Like, this is McDonald's, not Applebee's, where I'm a corporate conglomerate getting PPP money, which I can't qualify for because I wasn't open.
Really?
So you got no assistance.
I got nothing. Which, look, in a sense, I applied to the Barstool Fund just because I'm like, fuck it, if someone's out there and wants to help. But my mentality was, I didn't care about the money. I want the PR.
Yeah.
I want the social media presence.
Yeah.
I just want to be out there.
Portnoy comes.
Smart idea. Smart idea.
I'm like, I don't care about the money. So I submitted the video. Like, listen, I tried to milk the shit out of the video. I had my kid in the video. He was like 12 days old. My wife's like, why are you bringing him upstairs to your office? I'm like, I need him. Like, I need to try to get this.
You heard that, Portnoy?
Yeah. And I was going back and forth with the COO. I was going back and forth with one of the controllers. They were asking for all the payroll invoices just to make sure the payroll was never turned off. They've kind of gone radio silent on us, but if I had to guess, it's because we're too new. You know, yes, the place has been here 43 years, going on 44 in August. But I'm the new guy taking over, and it is what it is. But in a sense, I kind of like not having any of the assistance because I'm doing well right now.
You're gonna eventually owe it back or something like that, no?
Well, not even that. What I'm saying is, right now we're doing okay. You know? By no means is there just money flowing in and like I'm taking private jets down to Florida and this and that, but
Cancun with cruise.
I mean, that's a whole nother. Jesus Christ. There needs to be just a common sense test to get into Congress.
Oh, God.
Seriously.
I was just listening to something about that on the way, and I was, if you want to get into Cruz, I was surprised that he sounds like a pretty smart guy for the most part, but I mean, that was really tone deaf and just
it was the worst timing he
around.
could have done this.
I mean, you leave your dog by himself? Come on, I know it's a poodle, but like that's what bothered me more personally. Like, I don't care what the senators and what them do. Like, what did Biden do? What did he do? What did he act on right away? Well, God, it's nothing.
Yeah.
But back to the PPP stuff. Like, in a sense, we're doing okay here. Like, we do a lot of takeout, we do a lot of Grubhub, a lot of Uber. The name is out there. Social media has gotten much better. So to me, it's more of like, okay, if I'm doing okay now during a pandemic, what's going to happen
up from here
when it goes up? So it's like,
that's a good way to put it.
You know what? I don't want the assistance. I want this. What I want, and we'll get into Cuomo and talk about it, is I want America back.
Yeah.
I want to be the only person responsible for this place failing.
Yeah.
If it fails because of my stupidity, because I start doing dollar drinks like the turtle.
I remember those days.
Those were fun.
I don't.
Those were fun for us. But.
Yeah. But if that's why I fail, I can live with myself. I can go to sleep at night knowing I did everything I could.
Yeah.
It failed because of me. But right now, he's the one who's controlling what's going into my bank account and what's not.
Yeah, it's ridiculous too because since when does I understand? The
Emperor.
Like we said at the beginning, obviously there's a virus, it's dangerous, but since when does the governor have the ability to tell you can or can't work, etc.? They just made up a power that they have, and he still has it, right? And now this new thing is kind of threatening him. We'll get into that at some point, but it's ridiculous.
Yeah, and there's never been a case in history where any type of pandemic or anything like this has ever shut down the economy in its entirety. Listen, I understand when we didn't know what was going on, precautions needed to be taken, but after a certain point, like,
there's nothing wrong with precautions either. I'm sure you would, even if there was no guideline or mandatory thing, I'm sure you'd probably still have taken some sort of precaution on your own without the government having to tell you.
Keeping it clean, keeping people separated.
Right. Yeah, that's like common sense shit.
I've already told the guys in the kitchen, like, listen, I know you guys hate the masks and whatnot. I'm like, but get used to it because in my opinion, I don't really think it's that much of an issue. I think masks in the back of the house are here to stay forever.
Probably.
Because, look, if you can avoid even just a transmission of a common cold, why not?
Why not?
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's less of a risk.
But as far as the front of the house goes, like, you're losing that personal touch with people. And you're losing any sense of just humanity with it.
That interaction that you'd have with the bartender makes all of their tips.
Yeah, the bartender is like he's like your counselor.
Yeah.
Your friend. They serve
your
you
therapist.
drinks. Yeah,
Put it
therapist,
this way.
everything.
If I had to wear a mask behind the bar back in 2010, 2011, I might have never met my wife. I met her at the bar.
Yeah.
You you can't have that now. You're just sitting at a table. You have to come over in mask, gloves.
Well, we were out
crazy.
over the summer. We were out in Montauk, and we go there every summer, and it's always a blast. And all the bars out there are crazy. And so we went to this one bar, Memory Motel, which was known for being just a nonstop shit show continuously. They had us at tables outside, and I mean, they were. It didn't even make sense how bad they were.
It wasn't their fault. There was literally like a health inspector standing outside, and it's like an outdoor place. He was standing outside with a flashlight, pointing it at people if they broke the rules.
One of our buddies stood up without a mask on, and they were like, "You need to sit down and put your mask on." He's like, "I'm leaving." He's like, "You're not going anywhere. Sit down." What? Just let me leave. Like,
it's the fucking Gestapo, man.
It is.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
Like if that was me and the guy came over, I'd start coughing on him.
Yeah, might as well.
Fuck it.
But at least you haven't seen any like insanity other than like the Karens here, because like there's been places where like when we went to Secrets and when we went to Montauk and stuff where it was literally like military takeover of these restaurants.
Did Secrets really have those tables that you went underneath and they gave you 3 feet that people were walking around with?
Oh, that's when when they were first allowed to open up, they had like the personal space things. Yeah.
Oh,
yeah, when we went to Secrets in Ocean City, it was
depressing.
Dead depressing. Yeah. It was only for eating food and then get the fuck out.
Yeah.
It was nothing else. No party atmosphere.
Yeah. No,
imagine how much money a place like that lost. It's like banking on that like huge summertime party rave atmosphere, and they couldn't do that at all.
Right.
So
I'll do you one better, right? Cuomo shuts things down on March 15th. The White Plains St. Patrick's Day Parade.
Yes,
that following week.
Broke our hearts
Now,
that we lost all those.
It used to be a really, really big thing. Back when Merrimack Avenue was what it was, St. Patrick's Day was crazy.
Yep.
I mean, even me down the block at the Turtle, off the beaten path, we would order anywhere from 300 to 500 cases of Bud Light, and anywhere from 30 to 50 cases of Jameson.
Yeah.
Now imagine you're a small business, right? You order, let's say, $20,000 in inventory because you know you're going to do $60,000 that day.
Yeah. Everybody got screwed when they canceled that parade.
They didn't, right. The business didn't think it was going to get shut down.
No, but there was just nothing like... All of a sudden now, right? So Governor Murphy in Jersey announces today that starting on March 6th, we can go up to 10% indoors, 15% outdoors for sporting events.
Right, yeah.
Why are we waiting a week when we can open back up when you shut us down overnight? You give businesses no time to react. So there are businesses that took in all this product. Now, luckily, beer and liquor doesn't go bad.
True.
But guess what? The invoice has to be paid, and for beer, 14 days, liquor, 30 days. The New York State SLA has not changed a single thing on that.
Oh, look at that.
Nothing changed on that.
Yeah.
So now think about the places that ordered a shitload of corned beef and cabbage.
Yeah.
Unless it comes in cryovac and you don't touch it, if you freeze it, you're good for a year. Who's going to want corned beef that's been frozen for
a year? Nobody. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah. I don't think Steve Rogers would want it for 70 years.
Right.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
I didn't even think of that.
Yeah.
That's my biggest issue. With
Everybody took a hit for St. Patrick's Day.
A lot of the rules, was they overreacted to an extent, and like you said, overnight would change a rule, but then they wouldn't change that other rule. You're saying the SLA and whatnot. Like they should have. Had like a group of people that realized, like, okay, if we do this, it's going to affect business this way, and we have to have a corresponding move to make things a little bit easier for them. It didn't seem to be like that all-encompassing thought into everything.
It was just, let's take shit, throw it at the wall, and guess what? These little minions, they're just going to listen to us.
Yeah.
Like, if you're going to make me cut back on my restrictions and I'm sitting on all this inventory, it's New York State Liquor Authority. They're the ones that dictate you have net 30 days to pay an invoice.
Yeah. Help me out, bro.
Give small businesses with under 50 employees or under 100 employees who haven't turned their payroll off, who are still paying their payroll tax and still paying their quarterly sales tax, give them an extra 30 days.
Yeah.
Work with them. Because right now, if I miss a payment by 1 day, my account gets locked because I'm on probation. I just got my liquor license.
Okay.
I make one mistake, I'm done.
Oh, yeah.
It's
So
crazy.
imagine how many liquor licenses just got wiped out during
On
that.
top of that, like you need to know all that too. You need to be on top of
Yeah.
your game. It's not, like it's complicated.
Yeah.
Yeah, not easy running a business.
Listen, every morning I used to never ever watch the news because to me it was just depressing.
Oh,
It
it's so. It still is.
no, but I'm talking like back, like
Yeah.
my wife's like, "What? Put the news on." I'm like, "I'd rather watch 2.5 Men or Everyone Loves Raymond."
Yeah.
She's like, "Why? See what's going on in the world." I'm like, "Someone got raped, someone got murdered,
Yeah.
some politician stole money, and someone said something racist."
Yeah.
Yeah. Nothing's
I'm like-
changed.
Basically,
I'm like,
got
was
that
that-
wrapped up.
I'm like, "Was that the news or the Family Guy recap?
Yeah.
Which one was it? Can you tell me? Because it's the same thing." But now I'm waking up every single morning or every night before I go to bed, and I'm reading through the news. I'm reading through online, seeing what rules do I have to follow today.
Yeah.
You know?
You have to.
And
It's
that
part
was
of your
the
life.
Yeah.
that was the other thing. This, they made all these decisions early on because the science wasn't there, whatever. But nothing led up. This was not a fluid operation at all. And this is where I bring into my theory. It was just an all-out war on small businesses. Because if this was really about your health, then why did liquor stores and fast food restaurants remain fucking essential and shit like that? I understand drive-through and all that stuff,
Yeah,
but
I'll fight you on that right now, right? There's a Wendy's down the block and a Burger King down the block. It's the second busiest Burger King in the Northeast. Burger King, because they don't, the rule is the 10 o'clock curfew, now 11 o'clock. If you hold a New York State liquor license, you have to close at 11 o'clock. If you don't, you can stay open as late as you want, just not for indoor dining. You can have your drive-thru. So the diner down the block, that's right on the middle, on the cusp of 287 and 87, right by the bridge where all these truckers are coming over. They just lost all their overnight income.
Yeah.
They just lost everything.
Because they have a liquor license,
Because
even
they
though
have a
they're a
liquor
diner
license,
and they're
even
really
though they're a diner.
serving food.
But nobody's going to just give up their liquor license, right? So my argument was, and I'm sure, I think you actually posted my first open letter.
I did,
to
yeah.
Andy, right? What's safer, in all honesty? Coming into a full-service restaurant where the staff is wiping everything down after every single turn of the restaurant, doing bathroom checks every 15 minutes when the law's only every 30 minutes, and sitting down, having a meal, everything being done in a brand new high-temp dishwasher that cost me $8 fucking grand.
Jesus.
Or you really think that the person at the drive-thru window
gives a fuck.
is washing his hands in between each thing? And
Right.
I hear, they wear gloves. Here's my argument against gloves.
They're washing the gloves?
I was in Stop and Shop, right? There's somebody walking around. She's touching all the pasta. She has her gloves on. She has her goggles. She has her mask, her face shield, everything. Great. She's being protected. She takes all of her groceries after picking up all 5 different boxes of pasta and putting them back on the
Thank
shelf.
you.
Okay? She walks out to her car. She's unloading her car. Now, I'm driving ready, but I see her, so I put the car in park, and I'm watching everything. She's loading everything into the car. She closes the car. She gets in her car. She starts her car, puts her hands on the wheel. I got out of the car. I knocked on the window. I said, "Miss, have you ever worked in a restaurant before?" She's like, "Why would I ever want to do that?" I'm like, "Because in a restaurant, you'll learn about something called cross-contamination."
Yeah.
Yeah.
I go, "Do you think Timmy the bagger is wiping down every box of Ronzoni that you just touched?" I go, "Every single thing you just touched with your gloves on is now on your steering wheel, is now in your ventilation
Yeah.
system."
Yeah.
I had this problem with Whole Foods. I was standing outside
Well,
forever.
that's your first problem.
Yeah, well, I was standing outside, and I'm like, what's the point of this line? They're like, for your protection. I'm like, oh, okay. And I walk inside, and they had raw bars of soap, and people are lifting their masks and smelling this one, putting it down, smelling that one. And then you walk over to the produce. I don't like this apple. I don't like that orange. Who are you protecting me from?
Yeah.
What are you protecting me from? It's dirtier in here than it was on the line.
The gloves make no sense. They almost
No.
give people a false sense of security.
Oh, yeah.
That's what it is.
It makes more
Yeah.
sense to just continually keep washing your hands often because if you just wear gloves, I'm safe now. I don't have to worry about anything. Right, but you, as you said, you're cross-contaminating
Are you
everything.
safe if I take my gloves and I dip them into chicken, raw chicken,
Yeah.
Right.
and then go eat a tortilla chip?
Right.
Guess what?
No.
I just got salmonella.
Exactly.
Like,
You're way worse now.
If you can't put ready-to-eat food underneath raw chicken, why would you not? Why would you want to push for gloves?
Yeah.
It makes no sense. And to, I can't even.
Go ahead, bro.
It's just.
That's
Hey,
why we have you on.
vented,
I
yeah.
Let's
know,
go.
It's just it's like you guys said. There was no actual strategy.
None.
It was shut it all down. Small businesses bad. Go to Walmart. Go
Yeah.
buy
The
everything.
box stores were
Yeah,
fine.
You want
Yeah.
to know why? Because the box stores make generous donations.
Yes.
to
Yeah,
all these
exactly.
Campaigns, and I ain't giving nobody a goddamn donation. I'm donating to the Little League. I'll donate for them.
Yep.
I ain't donating to politicians.
Of course.
Nail on the
I said that, yeah.
Absolutely not. I told my buddy who lives in the area. Elmsford is 1 square mile. It's a very, very small town. The second a seat opens up on the council, I'm running.
Go for it.
And Elmsford's a good town. Like the village, they support us. The mayor's been in here multiple times. Police department comes in here multiple times. Everyone loves this place. They've been very receptive to me, and I made sure to repay that back.
As you should.
But guess what? There are a lot of fucking wackos out there that are going to come in and say, you know what? I don't like that they get to have a neon sign, but nobody else can. They should get theirs taken down because it's not fair that everyone else doesn't have it.
That's the whole nanny state, you know.
It's crazy. So it's like you need to run. You need to get your voice out there. Like
somebody once told me, like, honestly, just focus on local politicians because like the president and the House and the Senate are never going to do anything for you. Just fix your own town that you live in so you can live in it happily.
Yeah, as much as we bitch and complain about Biden and Pelosi and
listen,
Ted Cruz.
And Trump, too. Listen, I was a Trump supporter. Did I just bow down and Trump did everything amazing?
No,
absolutely not. Listen, he did a lot of good things. He said a lot of real fucking stupid things, too.
Yeah.
I even admit he said it. You know, when he signed that COVID relief bill that sent all that money overseas, that's when we should have stormed the Capitol.
Yeah, I agree.
I don't like the idea of like. There's people who like worship Trump. No, you know, like I don't like the idea.
There's people who worship Biden.
Yeah, they do. Yeah. They do. But and Obama and Bernie Sanders too. You should never worship a politician,
an elected official.
As Ted Cruz proves to you, when you should be down in the dirt with your people. They take flights to Cancun, and that goes across the board. Like that way of thinking that like this is my guy and I love him to death. We have friends that have fucking posters of Trump in their house, and they have the family portrait like we're back in Nazi Germany when you had Hitler on your wall. They have Trump in there like. Why? That's actually that guy is supposed to be working for you. You shouldn't be worshiping him. And we've forgotten that over the years.
Oh, big time, yeah.
And then, and that goes to like AOC too. People worship the ground she walks on. Meanwhile, she doesn't do everything that she really should be doing. Like
please tell me if you know anybody personally that worships the ground she walks on. I'd like to buy that.
I do.
There's somebody. There's going to be somebody.
All you have to do, though, is go on Twitter, look at her feed, and just you throw up in your mouth.
I know. It. Honestly, I pretty much looked at Twitter the day of the Super Bowl, just to see what was going on, and I looked at it today because Clark Schmidt's now out for a full month after 3 to 4 months. So it's like I'm looking at it for sports only.
Yeah.
And that's it.
Yeah, I follow the Yankees feed, and I get stuff people talk about in there.
That's it.
Yeah, I look at it every day for podcast reasons to have my finger on the pulse, and you shouldn't. It's just
I don't even have my Twitter account is the podcast page. I don't even have a Twitter account.
There you go.
It's not following that much.
If Facebook keeps interjecting in the private group chats and stuff like that, I'll get rid of that. I don't care.
It's crazy. I mean, Pete here used to use the Facebook for pretty much everything. They never used Instagram. It was all Facebook, but that was also. It's a much older clientele.
Yeah.
And listen, Facebook is a decent tool.
It's not great.
It's nowhere near what it used to be.
Yeah.
No.
Right? Like, you guys used to come to the Turtle all the time when I was there. Facebook back then would actually show you things in the order it was posted.
Right.
Not by these stupid algorithms, right?
Yep.
And Instagram stopped now. Now their algorithms now, likes mean absolutely nothing. It's about how many people save your content. Who the fuck is going to save a restaurant's content? Any restaurant. Nobody. Nobody's going to do it.
I'm familiar with that stuff, too, from trying to promote the podcast. It's crazy.
Even these food bloggers and whatnot. One of them came in, we were talking the other day. She's like, you got to tell your followers to save all of your stuff and not just like it.
Who wants to do that now? Every time you post something, they're going to save it?
I'm like, so now I have to ask them to come in, spend their money here, go on Google, write me a review. Don't go on Yelp, because Yelp is just... Fuck Yelp. It's like, no, just come in, have a good time. I almost want to put, safes on the table...
And put your phone in them?
Instead of the hand sanitizer. I saw a restaurant that did this, and I was talking to my buddy about it, and I'm pissed I didn't do it myself. They put lock boxes on the table. If the entire table didn't touch their phone for the entire meal, they got, I think it was 20 or 25% off the check.
Yep,
that's a good idea.
I've heard of games where everybody goes out and you put your phone in the middle, face up.
It pays the bill.
Yep, whoever can't fucking just go the whole dinner without doing it, you're the one paying.
Yeah, that's a problem on a societal level now.
Yeah.
Everybody's phones are surgically attached to their hands and they can't get out of it. And and now the masks, the lack of stay home, don't go socialize with anybody. Can't stay out past 10 o'clock. What do people do when they stay out past 10 o'clock? They sit at the bar and they drink, they talk to other people, they laugh, they have fun, they exchange ideas, they have conversations.
Well, that's the one
you can't exchange ideas. You can only have their ideas.
Yeah.
It's everything.
Well, just like that article said, no more critical thinking.
Oh, yeah. Everything that's been going on is the country's very divided, and everything that's going on is only making it worse.
Yeah. It's gonna be hard to go back. I think the initial bump is going to be hard. I think once everybody has a few fun like nights under their belt, things will go back to normal. The restaurant business, I think food-wise, you'll see the turnaround right away. But I think like, you know, the whole bar being packed for like a Saturday night of party and stuff, like with live music, I think it's going to be a little bit before that because people are used to being homebodies now. People are used to not going out late, not staying out till 4 o'clock in the morning. You know, it's gonna be a different. You know, it was like almost taking like a year off. You know what I mean? And then you have to get back into the trenches and go crazy again.
I mean, I definitely agree because I was joking with the staff the other night. I'm here pretty much every day from I'd say 9 a.m. till at least 10 o'clock.
Yeah.
Because I live up the street anyway, so I can run home if I really ever needed to. And I was joking with them. It was like 8:30. I looked. I'm like, I'm fucking exhausted. I'm like, if this shit ends tomorrow, we're open and we're allowed to stay till 4.
Yeah. I'm like, how are you gonna do it?
I'm like, I got a kid at home. I have a wife at home. Like, I gotta take a nap or 2 or 3. Like, I don't know.
Dude, but those thirsty turtle days that we were all at, those are over. Just to put like even when we've hung out like at our friend's house and you know like 12:30 we're all you know we still drink just as hard, but 12:30 we're falling asleep all over ourselves, and then we usually end up going home. We used to stay out till 5, 6 a.m.
Dude, how many of those turtle nights where the lights were coming on and you were
the lights.
pushing us?
The lights, dude. I used to show up at work in the summer at 4 o'clock with my sunglasses on. When I would leave at 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock in the morning, I need my sunglasses again. There was a month straight I didn't see my father. Except for when I pulled up and he pulled out.
I remember you told me the story a long time ago.
Because we used to all stay as a staff, hang out, drink after we had drank the entire night.
There was nothing like that bar.
But all the cops would come and hang out with us after their shift.
Yeah.
So like they used to hate Friday and Saturdays if there was a certain sergeant working that would make them do DWI checkpoints because if you get one, it's 8 hours mandatory overtime and they can't come and drink.
Yeah.
This is kind of off topic, but where did it go wrong for the Thirsty Turtle? Because that was one of my favorite places ever.
The staff was never sober. Everyone was underage.
But those are good things, in my opinion. Like,
they were great for us.
Yeah. Here's the thing, right? So when I started we
were in college, man.
It was November 8th, 2009.
Wow, you're good with dates.
The Yankees had won the World Series, I believe, on the 4th or the 5th of that year. So that was my first night work. I did a guest bartending stint on a Thursday night. And 2009, I was 20, right? Nobody knew how old I was until New Year's Eve. And, yeah, it was underage, but granted, I had a fucking full mustache in the 5th grade. Nobody thought I wasn't 21. Like, when my wife met me, she thought I was 40 and my name was Abart. I'm like, what the fuck did you find attractive about a 40-year-old bartender named Abart? She was like, I don't know, I was drunk. Well, that's what the turtle
makes sense.
Yeah, that's what the turtle does.
You know, the turtle unfortunately went downhill just because it got sold. The company that bought the corner, it used to be Butterfield 8 and Lola's and Brother Jimmy's.
They were never able to keep that place running.
The only reason why they bought the Turtle was because they needed a New York Westchester liquor license, and that was an existing building. They were able to just do a transfer, which then got them the momentum to get the licenses for Lola's and Butterfield 8.
So they just didn't care about the Thirsty Turtle.
They changed it to the Rec Room.
I remember.
Yeah.
They made it live music. They tried to get rid of the underage. You know, listen, to me, there's underage and there's really bad underage, right? When it comes to drinking,
You're always going to have, like, your 19, 20-year-olds trying to get into a bar.
I was 20 behind the bar. What were our parents doing when they were 20?
Well, when our parents were 20, I think the drinking age was 18.
When did it change?
I don't know. Way before our time.
I don't even know.
Long time ago.
I could Google it. That's why I brought this thing.
So, what would you like to see? Obviously, we can't go back to normal tomorrow. What's like some of the restrictions that you're really seeing that like you're like, I'm here every day, I know we don't need to be doing this?
The 50% capacity has to go. You can't mandate me to have 50% of my capacity and still keep my sales tax at the 8.5% or 8.25%. 3 days before Christmas, I had to cut a check, send an ACH to the state for $22,000.
Right.
Now, granted, I just took over in September. Would I have given Christmas bonuses to everybody here? Probably not. Would I have wanted to if it was a normal year? I would have gave them something, $50, Starbucks gift card, something. I just had to pay $22,000 to the state for fucking taxes at 50% capacity. Now, yes, it's money that it's coming in that, most people would say, well, you should have put it into a separate account and just use that for taxes.
Yeah, shoulda, coulda, woulda, That's why aren't you running a business then,
I'm like, do you want to give me a couple $100,000 to be my partner and tell me how to run the place? What successful business do you have?
Yeah.
Like, I've seen businesses fail. Like, I'm nowhere near where I want to be right now. Like, I'm a small business owner. I achieved a goal. I achieved the dream, but it still goes on from there. Like,
Yeah.
this is
Now the work starts. Yeah.
Yeah, like this is nowhere near the end of the road. This is literally the beginning. Like,
yeah. And what a beginning.
Yeah, exactly. You know, I'm.
You ever see those races where like the gates open and like the people literally like smash their faces right out of the gate? Like that's basically what happened. You're like, let's start.
Yeah, pretty much. Actually, the gate just hit me, and I
swung back and fucking nailed you.
By the way, 1984 is when they changed.
Yeah, so our parents were.
Yeah.
That's pretty fucking recent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is.
It must have really sucked though for like the people in like '84. Like I'm gonna be 18 this year. Fuck you.
Yep.
We think about it too. There's definitely like a sales repercussions to such a thing,
definitely.
right? Because if you now say you have to be 21 and not 18 to drink, that's
a big jump.
That's a big jump. That's a lot of people in that little group that now can't buy liquor anymore.
Yeah.
That's a decrease in sales.
I think anybody who was like 19 after. I think like the people who already were allowed to. Yeah, I think there was definitely some type of rule in between.
But if you're 20 and you've been drinking now for 2 years,
and
now you can't drink anymore for another year, that sucks.
It's like, you know, having a business and being allowed to be open at 100% capacity and then being told overnight you're down to 50. It's crazy.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah, so I could see the capacity.
The capacity is a problem because, like, when you have this place has been here for so long, there's just so many regulars that come in, and they come in big groups.
Yeah.
You know, we still do live music every Friday and Saturday. It's not 5- and 6-piece bands anymore. It's solos, duos, maybe a trio here.
Oh, so you even have to... Wow, so you even have to know how many people are in the band.
Well, I do it for the band purposes, just for legal things for me. But I also do it because common sense, right? You're going to pay a 5- or 6-piece band a lot more than solo, duo, trio.
Yeah.
Which, you know, listen, this hurts the musicians too. Like, it's most of them. This is their life.
Their stage.
This is
their
what
stage,
they do.
right.
Like, they play 4 to 5 nights a week. This is what they do. The ones that can't afford a recording studio and to make their own music, they just go out and sing covers, get drunk, have fun. People come and see them.
Yeah.
Now they can't do that anymore.
Yeah.
So for me, like the 50% capacity is just it's absolutely miserable because, look, after 9/11, did we ground every single airplane for a year?
No, right. It was only for the immediate.
What was it? 3 days, 4 days, and it opened back up. What did the people do who were afraid to fly?
They
drove.
Mm-hmm.
They took a train. They didn't travel. Guess what? There's probably still people out there today that don't get on airplanes because of that. We literally a terrorist attack on our grounds, whether it was orchestrated by Bush and Cheney or whoever the fuck it was, but it was on our grounds. And we're letting a virus that has a 99.7 recovery rate affect us more than that.
There was a 0.1, you know, we tanked this economy to save the 0.1% of people that were going to die. And now we have a vaccine that is going to kill 0.1% of its, you know, recipients. So what are we doing?
Just from like a human, you know, like psyche, human nature point of view, there's a supply and demand for everything, right? So you said before 9/11, people needed to go somewhere, so they just drove. If you close all the bars, if you close all the restaurants, people are still social, you know, humans are still social animals. They're still going to want to hang out. They're going to go into their own homes. So we could actually draw a direct, you know, conclusion, you know, New York, especially California, who is the absolute worst, like around the Los Angeles area, they're still 100% closed, I think, for indoor dining and whatnot. The like statistics regarding coronavirus are no different from Florida to California. So what that tells me is that making those really tight restrictions don't work. At all. Look, and they're so, you know, they just don't want to admit that. Gavin Newsom, the whole recall thing on him, you know, I hope he's held accountable, but they'll never admit we made the wrong call.
Did you guys notice that they're verifying signatures?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, now we got to verify signatures. Yeah, now we got to play by the rules.
Yes. But here's my thing, right? Make everything strict, right? We both went to Catholic school. We all know what happened in that Catholic school with these strict rules and this and that. And everyone's like, oh, no, there's no drugs in a Catholic school. Iona Prep doesn't have drugs. Fuck that. We had the expensive drugs. You want to know why? Because all the parents had money.
Yeah.
They didn't give a shit. They left the medicine cabinets open. There was more shit going through those hallways than maybe not any public high school. There's a lot. But anything in Westchester County. So putting these strict restrictions on people they're gonna act out. Look at listen, look at the girls from Ursa. Look at the girls from Maria Regina. When we used to meet up with these girls, and when they were out of school, forget it. It was like a dog out of a cage.
Yeah, it actually probably makes things worse, because when you repress things in people, when the little chances they get to do stuff, they
go crazy.
Out. They go crazy. They act out, and they might act foolishly as opposed to
like the Capitol.
Yeah,
right. Yes, 100%.
I already said it when things go back to normal and bars are at 100% and stuff. The ER is going to be packed with alcohol-related injuries. People, DWIs are going to skyrocket.
Yep.
People over drinking, and you're going to have, hopefully not you, but like if Turtle or something was opened up when this all got, these kids would be dying left and right. There'd be no hope for them.
Yeah, not us.
I actually trace all this back to the Turtle, because they actually blew up the building in February of last year.
Really?
I remember.
And then Corona came around in March.
Yeah.
I mean, we knew there was a lot of shit in that building, but we
released the virus. Yeah.
Thirsty Turtle was ground zero for COVID.
Well, you know what? If you survived those nights, then that's why I haven't gotten COVID yet.
Because I have my shirt hanging up in a display case.
Do you really? Yeah. That's awesome.
Put it up. I was waiting for like 2 months for that display case to show up.
That's great.
It's my actual one with the rip underneath the arm and everything.
There you go. Yeah, the thing that I would really like to see change. I just want to go to a restaurant and have drinks. Like, why do we need to get? I understand, like, it's good for you. You're going to make money.
And that's what it comes down to. If Cuomo had a better PR team, they could say, listen, we do think that we should eliminate just drinking at a bar, because if we have 3 or 4 more of these, I have a 2-block drive home, I'll be okay. But if we have 3 or 4 more of these, we're going to get sloppy and probably do something stupid and rip our mask or forget it, whatever. But if we eat, we may not get as drunk. All he had to do was come out on camera and say, listen, small businesses have been absolutely dismantled by this virus. We're going to allow indoor dining at 50% with your mask, with everything, and in an effort to help these businesses, when you have a drink, you have to order food as well. That's it.
Right, that could have been a more common sense approach.
If you just word it in a different way, people will go for it.
Yeah.
When he just says, no, and it's
that's the Emperor complex.
But he put these rules in right before I took over. And it sucked, because the second I saw that, I literally started putting menus together of Cuomo chips.
Yeah.
Like, it was just nonsense stuff. Literally one potato chip on a plate. Here, you eat.
Yeah.
And now, wings aren't a meal. That's not food.
Right. They'll just move the goalposts until
now they're telling you what you can and can't do. Just order something off the menu. Like,
just eat something. I don't care. You want a piece of bread?
Dude, we went to a bar in Connecticut. And the waitress, when we put in our drink orders first, was physically shaken. She's like, I can't take this order. Are you guys going to order? Yes, just get us all pizza to the table and bring us the drinks.
What?
Then we're waiting for the drinks. And we're like, oh, the drinks haven't come out yet. She's like, oh, yeah, your food's almost ready.
They waited. They didn't bring us the drinks until the food
was on the table.
Was on the table. Like, we were going to get the drinks and then run out the door before we got the food.
Some people might, and that's the problem.
I mean, maybe some people might.
Maybe.
But that's the problem. The problem is that, like, you never know who's coming in the restaurant, right? So I sent in secret shoppers here for months, just to get feedback on everything. Not really to see, like, oh, is this person stealing? Is this happening? Like, no. Go in for lunch, sit down, order this, and that. Give me your feedback. Take pictures. Tell me what I got to work on. Were the bathrooms clean? Were this? So, like, if me as the owner was not even the owner yet, potential owner, was sending in secret shoppers, you don't think dickhead fucking Cuomo up there would have sent in secret shoppers to see if,
are they following the rules?
A bar out in Brooklyn when the restrictions first hit. This was in September when you had to eat something. Guy went in, undercover trooper, went in 2 out of 3 days. 2 out of 3 days he went in. Just sat at the bar, had 2 beers. Bartender didn't force him to eat anything. Trooper just got up, left, filled out his paperwork. Not even a trooper, recruit. He was in the academy. Bar gets a letter a month and a half later. $25,000 fine.
Nice.
And a 3-month, they revoked the license for 3 months. Because the guy had 2 beers and didn't.
Yeah. Is this why that gym owner who's become famous now can get away with it? Because he doesn't have a liquor license or anything, so there's nothing like... You know what I mean? He just keeps ripping up those notices.
The state could go there and shut him down on a mental health warrant if they really, on a mental hygiene warrant if they really wanted to. Because I mean, look, it's a gym. Pandemic, it's a gym. You never know. But I mean, I wish, like, if I get a fine, I'm fucking ripping it up. We're coming and doing this again. We're gonna rip it up in person.
Yeah, that's fine.
You see, that sort of behavior is suspicious to me, because now when you behave like that, you're
a target.
Yeah, and it's almost like there's an agenda behind to.
Well, that'll get you the social media attention that you want.
You know, are they doing that to Walmart? Are they doing that to Target?
Yeah.
Are they doing? You know,
of course
they're not.
No.
So. My opinion is that in the background, you know, Walmart, Target, Amazon definitely lobbied these guys and were like, you know,
of course,
if you can use the situation to expand our like control over the marketplace, do that.
Well, think of what a health inspector on a regular day would look for in here. You think that Burger King passes half of that shit down the street?
Listen, I worked part-time. Well, I was full-time, but I really only worked about part-time. I was a VP of Ops for Wingstop for the last couple of months. And, like, I've gone in these places, and I'm like, there's no way this is passing a fucking health inspection. Like, there's no way. It's not happening.
Yeah.
And, like, I'm talking with the owner, because it's individually franchised, and I'm like, you need to do something about this. He's like, well, it's all the staff. Like, you need to motivate them more. I'm like, no. Like, these are people who work for minimum wage. Right. They're not given the tools that they need. Like,
or the fuck to get.
Well, exactly. I'm like, they're not getting the gloves they need. They're not getting the materials they need from you. So this is on you. I'm like, dude, they can literally make more money by sitting home than going to work. It's disgusting.
Yeah.
So no, a health inspector coming in here versus Burger King, if I got a lower score than a Burger King, I would fucking lose my mind.
Yeah.
Lose my mind.
Yeah. But Burger King brings in how many billions a year?
Yeah.
So
and I'm sure they contribute a tremendous amount of you know, to politicians' campaigns.
Yeah.
You know, you mentioned the minimum wage. Now it's a good time to ask your question.
All right, so Biden kind of threw it out today, but explain to the world what would happen if just tomorrow they're like $15 minimum wage. Like, I'm sure you're probably not in favor of this.
So for restaurants, it's different, though.
That's what I was going to ask you.
You have to keep in mind. For restaurants, for people who work in the front of the house and they're tipped, so their actual wage is $9.35 an hour, and there's a $4.65 tip credit. Basically, if you work 10 hours and you don't make a minimum of $46.50 in tips, then I have to make up the difference to get you to $15 an hour.
Wow,
it's all ADP calculates it all. It's all good to go.
Okay.
For the back of the house, to get to 15, personally, it really wouldn't affect me as much. Because all the guys are at 14 right now anyway, because Westchester County went up to 14. Right. Actually, Westchester County was at 14 all of last year.
Yeah. I think New York is past it to get to 15. It's just incrementally.
Yeah, it goes up again on New Year's Eve of this year up to 15. And tipped minimum wage, I think, goes up to, like $10.65 or something. Right. So for me, it wouldn't really affect as much. If I still had all these restrictions, it still would. Like, there's nights where we cut back. We used to have a hostess, a busboy, a server, and a bartender every single night. Yeah. Fridays and Saturdays, we'd have two servers, maybe 3 extra guys in the line. Now it's like, no, it's a bare bones staff. There's a bartender and a server, and I'm here. Yeah. Like, I'm the busboy, I'm the dishwasher, I'm whatever I need to be. If it's slow and I can sit at the end of the bar and just get some work done, I do that. If it's busy, great. The server and the bartender make a shitload of money because I'm not taking tips, and it is what it is. But for minimum wage, just to jump from New York, I honestly don't think it'll affect that bad.
I don't think so, either.
Because New York's already at 14. So fast food workers actually are at $14.50 this year. They were at $13.75 last year. So for New York, I don't think it's that big of a deal. But looking at the big scheme of things, you can't just go from fucking $12 to $15 overnight. And now listen, to Biden's credit, he has said it over and over again. Like, we're not just going to do it overnight. We would incrementally
that would need
go up.
Yeah.
And okay, like, maybe he's not. Maybe his people aren't as dumb, or maybe he can read. Who knows?
Yeah, well, he's actually said the other day that it's
not happening at all.
It's not happening at all.
I tried to watch that town hall thing. It was
I missed that completely.
I mean, you really didn't miss much because they were just softballs.
Well, he's only ever going to get softballs. Last week's episode was a bunch of fluff pieces that they had in the news.
It was crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, with the whole minimum wage thing, it's kind of a debate that's broiling between me and him. For once, finally, we can get on
we could disagree about something.
We could disagree. Right. But it sounds like from what you're saying that if there wasn't these restrictions from Cuomo on everything, it could probably be done. Like, if business was booming.
Yeah, but in New York, it could be done, not in, like, South Carolina or Florida or something.
Yeah. If business was doing well, honestly, my guys in the kitchen would make all over minimum wage. 3 of the 4 do. One guy's new, so he's at minimum wage. And what I do with everyone is they start out at minimum wage. You got 90 days. I do an evaluation. If you're where I want you at, you'll get anywhere from $1 to $1.50 more. That's just because, look, I do agree you shouldn't work 40 hours here and then go work somewhere else and still live in poverty.
Right.
Now, if you're doing it because you're a junkie, you're gambling, you're drinking nonstop,
or you just maybe want to hustle your ass off and make as much money as possible.
yes, but if you have those problems where like you're just putting your money in bad places, I have no sympathy for you.
Yeah.
But like if you're just hustling nonstop, listen, good for you. Like I had that job, I had this place, I had a lot of things going on.
Yeah,
Gotta
money
make
coming
money.
in all over the place. That's what you need to be.
Got to make money, got to pay the bills. You know, kids are not cheap.
No.
You can't. You apparently you can't rewash a diaper. So that's my next.
Back in the day, they used to, right?
Yeah.
There was those cloth ones, and then they would.
I'm surprised that's not coming back.
I'm trying.
So the minimum age debate, I think it's going to evolve between me and you over time as we.
Well, now that's not happening. I mean,
yeah, I know they've taken the bullets out of our chamber here for now.
I'm sure they'll give you more.
Yeah. Oh, it's easy.
Let me ask you before we go on to like really shit on Cuomo. You were saying before you still do have live music and stuff, right? So I wanted to ask you, like not political. I know you do trivia nights.
Trivia's on Wednesday.
Yeah.
Thursday night used to be karaoke, but we can't do that anymore.
Okay.
Because singing kills.
Yes.
Well, listen, I could almost understand that because you're sharing.
Yeah, everybody uses the mic.
True.
But guess what? I can easily buy these covers on Amazon for a pack of 24 for $19. Change them out, or like the regulars. If you're going to come every week for trivia, cool. I'll put an extra $1.50 on your first check that you come in. You pay for your own mic cover, you keep it.
Yeah,
you know.
Could also spray it with I have when we've had guests on in the house. I've like after everybody leaves, sprayed a whole room. I spray from a distance of mics with Lysol and whatnot. That might do something.
I put in a new air, like an air ventilation system, like a. The guy who put it in is a friend of mine. He's a firefighter where I used to live. He does this on the side with his father. He's like, yeah, we got this purification system, blah, blah, blah. He's like, I'll be honest with you. I really have no fucking clue what it does. Nobody knows what the science is behind it, but restaurants and hospitals and everyone's going crazy for it. So, like, if you want to do it, I'll do it for you. We'll work out a deal. I'm like, yeah, cool. Why not?
Just to say you have it.
I'm like, just do it. Just say I have it. And then someone's like, oh, what does it do? I'm like, fucking
It purifies the air.
It works.
Yeah, it kills COVID.
I look at the person. I'm like, do you have COVID? Like, no. I'm like, congratulations. You're welcome.
Is it one of those ones that have like the UV lights inside the...
Maybe.
They got
I've
here.
seen
like,
that. That actually makes sense.
They got here at like 3 o'clock in the morning. They were up on the roof doing what they had to do. They were gone by I think 6.
I've seen some. I've seen some of them have within the ducts. There's UV lights, so like the air passes through the UV light. The COVID is like susceptible to vitamin D, sunlight. So theoretically, if the virus is passing through the air duct, passes through those bulbs, gets killed immediately, and before it gets recirculated back into the building.
There we go. One thing I had before jump into Cuomo. So, since being the business owner, did you get any word of things coming down the pipeline, or so you just turn on, Fox or CNN and
I find out through the news.
Yeah, find
out through the news.
And then what? They send you like a letter or something later on.
They haven't sent shit.
That's amazing. So if you just lived under a rock, your restaurant's fucked.
The only letter they sent me was my sales tax being due.
Oh well, that of course, yeah.
Yeah.
I was just
Pay
saying,
me money now.
The only notifications they're going to give you of your fine, of your your punishment, and of your taxes. When it comes to like, listen, this is what we're changing. Here's what you need to do to comply, and they've spelled it out clearly. No, that doesn't exist.
It's amazing.
They don't care.
Let's
all right.
Let's
on
talk
to
about
the Emperor.
I have some notes here, right?
Oh yeah, you wrote down something that's been
Let's talk about the nursing home thing. I know it's not small business, but I know you're going to want to get into this too.
Yeah,
because this is why Cuomo's under fire lately, right? So I first wanted to start with what exactly even is the nursing home thing, right? What happened, and why is that even an issue, right? Because if you go on like Fox News, they say like the nursing home scandal, the nursing home this, the nursing home that, and then sometimes I'm like, yeah, I know, get them, but I'm like, what the fuck are you even talking about? Who even talks about it? So I want to real quick lay out what exactly is the nursing home issue.
Your reading corner.
Yes. So, on March 25th, Cuomo, he issued a directive barring nursing homes from refusing people back into the nursing home because they have COVID-19. At the time, it was intended to free up space in the hospitals that were swamped in the early days of the pandemic. It came under criticism. I'm stepping on you?
Yep.
Came under criticism because it ended up sending people who... Imagine if you were in a nursing home and you got COVID, you went to the hospital, you were going to be okay. They send you back to the nursing home because they don't want the hospital overcrowded. You still have COVID. You're now going to the hospital and you spread COVID to a whole bunch of old, elderly, vulnerable,
underlying issues,
vulnerable people, right? That is why the nursing home death toll was so high, because that kept happening over and over and over. They were
That's how my uncle. That's how my dad's uncle.
Yes, I have family members too. They were so paranoid over the hospital bed rate or whatever being overwhelmed that they were just like, send it back to nursing home. The nursing home will figure it out. Sorry. And then the issue that came out recently is that they fudged the numbers, trying to protect themselves from being in trouble for this thing. So the original count of deaths attributed to the nursing home was 87,000. It turns out it was really 13,000, and that obviously the Cuomo's aide or whatever came out.
Wait, did they report?
That's what
13,000.
They reported 8,700 deaths attributed.
Oh, 87. I thought you said 87,000.
No, sorry, maybe I did. I don't know. 8,700 deaths attributed to, nursing homes. It really is 13,000, and change. He covered up the few thousand difference because he was scared that the Justice
Department... He wouldn't get his Emmy.
He was scared that the Justice Department under Trump was going to punish him for making the decision of sending everybody back to the nursing homes. Remember, they did give them the hospital ship, which you keep saying. They did have the Javits Center. Like, they had room for overflow situations.
The Javits Center would have held 4,000 people.
Javits Center, dude, Westchester County. The county center.
They built the tents outside.
They built the tents. That, guess what?
I saw them, I remember.
The tents are now coming down. So now, in the middle of January and February, in the fucking freezing cold, people are lining up outside the county center on the front steps
to get vaccinated.
Apart to get vaccinated. Meanwhile, across the fucking street, there's 4 fucking tents filling the parking lot. You know how many COVID patients went in those hospitals?
Zero.
Yeah.
You know how many patients went on the USS Comfort in the city? 14.
Yeah.
14 COVID patients.
I understand. I understand from that aspect. They don't want any COVID patients coming aboard a naval vessel.
Fine.
But they could have. They should have sent all the other stuff to them.
If I broke my leg or my wife put a knife in my neck because I said something stupid, okay,
which could happen any day now.
Yeah, of course it should. I should have been sent to that hospital.
Yes.
Not to fucking Jacoby.
They didn't use them. It was. Cuomo even asked for this ship to come here.
He begged for it.
And it was never used. Everyone in the city should have been, if it's not COVID related, should have been sent immediately to the Javits Center.
Richest city in the world, most populated city in the world. It went fucking barren during COVID. MSG couldn't be used. Barclays couldn't be used. Yankee Stadium couldn't be used. All those suites at Yankee Stadium, Legends Lounge, everything. Come on.
There's no reason this should have happened.
There's no excuse.
And he's worried that the Trump administration was going to punish him. Yeah, you should be punished. But now you got the Biden administration, so you probably won't get punished.
And I don't think he was worried about getting punished. I think what he was more worried about was
his image.
But besides the image, was not getting federal funding. Because look, did anyone really honestly think that Biden got 80 million votes and was going to win? No, I don't even think Cuomo thought he was going to win.
Yeah.
So to him, it's like, I have to cover myself up. I have to cover my tracks. If I have 4 more years of Trump,
he's going to come after me.
He's going to come after me, and he's not going to get me the aid that I need for the state that I put into bankruptcy. How do you need $15 billion fucking dollars to balance your budget?
Yeah, it's still in debt, and we're still in debt.
Still in debt.
Yeah.
Come on.
It's amazing because you know what, like. I've been finding a newfound respect for some of these crazy Democratic politicians because, like, Cuomo, I got to give it up to him. Like, the man will always double down. It does not matter what the news is. His aides are like, all right, listen, Andy.
We're going to talk
Andy,
about that.
stop doing blow for a second.
You call him Andy, too?
There's a video of you killing this person. Did you kill them? Yeah, just deny it. I don't care. You're in the video. Deny it. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, if they, what are you going to do if they question you about it? I'm going to say it's not a big deal. Fuck off. He will double. I would love to go to a casino with him.
Yeah.
He must be the most interesting person to play blackjack with. Hit me, sir. You have 22. Hit me.
Yes.
Never. He can't balance the budget. He ain't going to keep a stack of chips in front of him.
No,
that's true.
No,
that is true.
No.
Another one of the issues regarding the nursing home thing is that after, I guess, he definitely realized that this was a mistake. He listened to the demands of, like, his top donors, which are the nursing home lobby, right, and the industry.
The people who give him money,
right, and he granted them full corporate legal immunity to being held liable for the deaths in it, right, and the immunity, I looked this up, went all the way up to C-suite. Right, so I'm reading that, and I'm like, what the fuck does even C-suite mean? I Google, like, what is C-suite? That's the bigwig corporate people in charge of like the nursing home corporations. They have complete legal immunity from any wrongdoing in COVID situations regarding their. You know, did he do that out of the kindness of his heart? No, he did not. Because those are the
that's where his bread is buttered.
Right.
Cover everything up.
You said it perfectly.
But
their bread is, that's
but
where
how
his bread is buttered.
Where does he have this authority to? I mean, I guess I don't know when you're
He
the
has
governor.
emergency power, bro.
But how is the emergency power? Where is the clause in your emergency power that's like you can make your donors immune to any backlash that might take place?
The problem is that we never had something like this before. So when the New York State Legislature decided we're going to grant you your emergency powers, there's nothing in the state constitution that says how long it is. That's why there's states like Indiana, like Tennessee, and I believe it's Wisconsin, that they're saying, no, we're changing this shit. We're going to go to 14 days, 21, and a maximum of 60 days.
Yeah.
And we're taking this stuff back. Because if you can't figure it out by yourself in 60 days with our help, then
you don't deserve this power.
You don't deserve it. We're going to do this shit.
Yeah.
Historically, like emergency powers have never turned out well.
No, of course not.
Did Hitler take power by taking over the government and then declare an emergency that he needs to become chancellor
and by
for
giving
life?
Speeches nonstop.
Right. Yeah. That's literally what emergency powers lead to. That sort of shit.
But dude, Cuomo got an Emmy and a book deal. This was all pre-planned. They knew what they were doing with this nursing home shit. And the thing is, though, that I find suspicious, I'm glad to see Cuomo's name in the news for this. We're not the only state that did this. New Jersey did it. I think Florida did it. California did it. They followed this same protocol for their nursing homes. This isn't. I think there's a total of 5 governors who did the same thing. 4 other governors plus Cuomo who did the same thing with their nursing homes.
Definitely the Northeast. Like they all follow Cuomo's lead.
They were all fucking.
I don't know.
But I mean, Murphy should be under investigation. I think it was in Florida too, but I don't think the numbers were 13,000.
My boy Ron down there.
Cuomo was trying to be like the head of the 5 families.
Yeah.
That's what he was looking at this as. Like, I need to be. He wants to be John Gotti. He thinks he has the Teflon vest on. Nothing can touch him.
Yeah.
He's got his fucking brother who's going to protect him in the media and whatnot, who finally is not allowed now to interview him.
Shocking.
That should have been from the beginning.
How has that not been a thing from the beginning? Like, literally from day one. Like, okay, cool.
Well, it only is now. It only is now
because it's a bad story.
Because it's a bad story
of course.
now. Right.
Yeah.
So they're doing it. Yeah. Isn't it funny, though, how what's his name? Chris got offended when someone called him Fredo. Like, they literally have that mentality about themselves. Who would ever really get or even think of such
idiots
a thing
like that? Idiots like that would,
Yes, that's a good way to put it. That's a good way to put it. The other thing that's really interesting is what happened with I was telling you about.
Oh, with his aide?
Have you heard about? No, it's not his aide.
Oh, no, the other person?
It's with Ron T. Kim, assemblyman
when he apparently called him, ripping into him, threatening to ruin his life.
So to give backstory, Ron T. Kim,
and then he doubled down.
A New York Democrat assemblyman, he said that when the news came out about Cuomo's office covering up the nursing home numbers, Cuomo called Kim directly on that Thursday and threatened his career if he didn't also go with the story and help cover up for the aide and what she said. And this guy Ron T. Kim says he tried to pressure me to issue a statement, and it was very traumatizing experience. Bourbon. Kim said. Cuomo proceeded to tell the assemblyman that we're in this business together, and if we don't cross certain lines, and he said that I hadn't seen his wrath and that he can destroy me, according to Kim. So,
but now, did you see the follow-up to that?
Yes, that's the next paragraph.
The right thing.
Which one? The one about De Blasio?
No.
Oh, that was great too.
I have Cuomo's follow-up to Kim saying that
his honor actually backed this up. They asked him.
Had De Blasio backed it up?
Backed up Kim.
Threw him right under the bus.
Have you ever received any of these call like this from Cuomo? He goes, yeah, that's what he does. He just calls and screams and yells at you and tells you how powerful he is and what he can do to end your career. That's typical Andy.
So my favorite thing about this, what I was texting you before, is that when Cuomo's response to Kim saying this is Cuomo responds saying, Kim has been an opponent of my administration since they sparred over a crackdown on the nail salon industry, which particularly impacted Asian communities in his district. He claimed that Kim was involved in a pay-to-play scheme over the issue, citing reporting by the New York Times.
Like Cuomo's not in any pay-to-play schemes.
No.
You just become the governor of New York.
So Cuomo responds to Ron T. Kim saying, you threatened me. Cuomo responds to that by threatening him, by saying, look, this guy's corrupt. he did this, he did that. That's you threatening him now in the public space.
Yeah.
You're just doing exactly what he said you were trying to do. You're trying to destroy his career. When you say someone's in a pay-to-play scheme and this and that, you're trying to destroy his career.
He only has one move in his playbook. This is it. He has no other options to play.
He should have said, no, I wasn't doing anything. You know, Ron T.
He can't do that.
Nice guy, you know, we just have disagreement. You know, maybe he's got his facts wrong, whatever. No, he doubles down, as you said, and he attacks him and makes up this whole story about it and whatnot.
It's his only play. It's all he knows what to do.
Yeah. So that's it. He makes statements destroying his career as he says he wasn't trying to destroy his career.
It's a joke. It's a joke. There needs to be a legitimate. I don't even care. I don't care about the nursing home because obviously we do, but there needs to be a full investigation on every single move he took.
I agree.
Yeah.
Because the problem is, I was here the day that he shut down New York City dining, right? And they have the numbers up on the screen. Back in, I think it was December, right after Thanksgiving or before Thanksgiving. We're shutting down New York City dining. They had the graphics up on the screen that 77.4% of positive cases in Manhattan were traced to living room gatherings. 1.43% were traced to restaurants.
Yeah. Well, fuck the restaurants.
We follow the science in New York. That's what he says with his fucking hand going, like, follow the bouncing ball. We follow the science. What fucking science are you following?
Only the convenient science.
Yeah.
It makes no sense.
It was a war on small business.
It just doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
It makes no sense at all. If you're going to say you follow the science, okay, show us the science. Show us
1% isn't science.
No, show us everything. Because if it's factual out there where us sitting here right now is me putting you guys, your health in jeopardy, I don't want to be here. I don't want to do it to you. I don't do it to me. I don't do it to my kid. Nobody. But when there's no science to back this up, why? Why are we doing this?
I heard about in California, obviously, same exact situation, and there was a group of like restaurant owners, small business owners that banded together and they sued Newsom and like Los Angeles, the mayor, and
it happened in New York.
And I'm not sure about the New York one, but I'm pretty familiar with the California one. And when it went to court, the defense from the state was, no, well, we have these studies that show that it's tied directly to indoor dining. You go to court. Okay, well, present your evidence, present your studies in court, and we will, then rule in your favor. They had nothing. They had literally nothing. Right?
Shocking.
The judge rules in favor of the small businesses that this is wrong and they should be opened up, and he rules in favor. The state appealed the decision. Why? You made the whole thing up. Yeah. It wasn't true. You lost in court, and then you appealed the decision, forcing the businesses, the restaurants, and indoor dining to stay closed. You lost, and you continue to play the game.
It's a bigger thing than anybody could fathom. It
happened. It happened in New York about 3 weeks ago. 91 restaurants in Erie and Monroe County, up by Buffalo. They all sued Cuomo for the restrictions, saying that there's no science to back up that after 10 o'clock COVID is dormant, and he's overstepping his powers.
Yeah.
The judge ruled in all the restaurants' favor, and effective immediately, they no longer had to follow the curfew. They still had to follow the social distancing, the capacity limits, all that, but the judge said, no, you can't just say after 10 o'clock because that's what our parents used to tell us, like nothing good happens after midnight.
Right.
Now listen, most of the time nothing good did happen. Fun things happened after midnight. Were they good? Probably not. But there's no scientific fact saying COVID comes out at 10 o'clock.
The big COVID monster.
Now it comes out at 11 o'clock.
Yeah.
And now he's trying to deflect and open things up a little bit so it takes people's mind off.
I'm sure you noticed, though, the second Biden got inaugurated, everything started opening up.
But we knew that was going to happen.
I know it was, but we don't need to follow the science anymore. Under Biden today, we broke 500,000 infected cases.
You mentioned before the counter on TV too. They took
it's gone.
They took that off.
It's disappeared. It's gone.
Yeah, it don't matter anymore.
It's gone. It's a joke.
Was this about Trump or not? I mean,
they took never waste a good crisis.
Yeah.
They took a good crisis and they use it for their own benefit to get what they want.
And what I really can't wait for, because look, Trump is not
disappearing.
He's not a complete idiot because he a buffoon sometimes. Yes, he has something going on in the back. Why would they want him out so bad?
Yeah.
Right? What does he have on all of these people? What are they finding on all these people? I'm talking before COVID. I don't want to go like grassy knoll fucking conspiracy man on the moon kind of shit.
Hey, that's kind of how we started this operation.
But in all honesty, you really don't think that Trump wants to drain that swamp? He's got to have something on somebody.
It's 50-50. He definitely has stuff on people, but I always said this, like, to my father. I was like, listen, even if he had, like, oh, here's the video of Hillary and Obama and Bush and anybody you want to throw in there going, he could put it out there and the media would be like, this is fake news, don't believe Trump. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it would be, unless
But you know what?
he
But
needs,
at least get it out there.
there needs to be an event or an awakening or something where it's,
oh boy, you're going to cue.
I understand that, but like, it's going to need to come down to where, like, the proof is going to be so ironclad you can't question it. You know what I mean? Like, everybody's going to have to get caught red-handed all at once.
I think the thing is, it's not that he's going to drain the swamp, because I've told you he'll just put his own monsters in. It's more of a, he's not part of the club, the establishment club, right? And you know, he's his own douchebag. He's a rich guy, and he's going to put his own cronies in there and whatnot. And the establishment's like, no, that ain't happening on our watch. We need our cronies in here, and we're going to make sure we make an example of you. And the impeachment, 2 times the impeachment. They're now looking for criminal things. They're going to punish no one
They're trying
ever
to pass a
again.
bill that says
He can't be buried.
That if you've been impeached twice, you can't be buried in Arlington.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like, just say
How
it's the
petty
Trump
is that?
fucking law.
Yeah.
Don't say if
he's
you've been
also a
impeached
billionaire.
twice.
He could get married. He could get married. He
do
could
it
get
anywhere.
buried on the moon if he wanted
do whatever
to.
he wants.
Yeah, he wouldn't. He probably won't be buried in Arlington. He wouldn't want to.
No.
And now the Supreme Court today threw out a case for the Pennsylvania election, but they are still going to move forward with releasing now a private citizen's tax returns. They're going to go after. So now that the impeachment didn't work, and now that he can't get buried with them, now they're going to go back after his taxes again.
Yeah.
It's never going to stop. No. I think this might actually be a good thing for America if they just keep focusing on Trump and not doing any work in the House or in the Senate. Then Biden can't fuck up America that much. If we just, for the next 4 years, focus on Trump.
Well, you know what it is? It's not even 4 years. It's the next 2 years. What really needs to happen, and it goes back to what I said earlier about possibly running for some kind of local government. In the next elections, the midterms, what people need to do is say, here are the 2 parties, fuck it. I don't care that
everybody vote green or something?
No, I don't care that I'm Republican. Guess what? Ted Cruz is a Republican from Texas. Everyone in Texas needs to vote for his Democratic.
That's what I've been saying.
We need to just swap out
everybody.
Yeah.
Everyone.
That's what I have been saying.
That's what needs to happen. Because guess what? And the other side of the argument is, well, it's the evil you know versus the evil you don't know. We know what the fuck Pelosi has been doing, and Biden's in office 47 years, and come on, we all really think that Obama got what, 64 million votes in 08?
Yeah, that Biden was more popular.
And Biden got 80
with
million.
no campaign trail.
Yeah. When you think about it, if you remember back to that time too, when Obama was elected, that was like, it was monumental. People were excited.
It was monumental.
People believed in him.
It was also the beginning
of social media.
The social media.
He had the hugest social media presence of any president before him.
Exactly. I mean, there's no fucking way that Joe Biden got 80 million votes. There's no fucking way. If it was Biden and Michelle Obama running, and Michelle was the vice president, I could believe 80 million votes. Yeah. Because I could see people supporting her, because at least when Joe dies, Michelle goes in.
Right,
really,
she's popular.
But like Kamala, seriously,
she wasn't popular either. We've quoted it multiple times. She polled it like 1%.
I said this when Joe Biden was getting inaugurated. Facebook was swarming with all these women crying and saying how great it is for a woman to be VP. And it is great that a woman became VP, and a lot of people aren't ready to have this conversation. Yeah. But where were you during the fucking prime? She polled at 1%. She didn't become VP because she was such a great DA or a great senator and all this stuff. She became VP because she was a woman of color. She was picked on her sex and her race, not by her merit. Nothing.
The party that says that me personally, because I identify as a Republican conservative. The party that says I am racist and
You're
sexist.
A domestic terrorist. Yeah.
You know? I'm a domestic terrorist. They classify me as racist and sexist. They pick their VP
based on race and sex.
Solely race and sex.
And also it's a party of people who don't want an old rich white guy running everything, and they picked an old rich white guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
a hypocrite party now. I consider myself a liberal, right? But I'm not. The Democrats have become
What you see today is not. Yeah.
It's not. It's they don't even have liberal values. Like
Exactly.
liberal values are like no war, let people do whatever they want. You know,
Smoke
healthcare
weed.
for all,
Yeah.
smoke weed. Those are not even things they're working on. They're doing everything that's like you're racist, you're racist, you're racist. Now we have to force policies based on race, like policies on race, discrimination based on race.
Yeah.
It's just they spin it in a positive way.
The new COVID bill for farmers, if you're a farmer of race, you get more money and shit like that. But they, Jen, what's her name? The new,
Circle back.
Miss Circleback. They asked her in an interview. They were like, "So what is Biden doing to help small businesses?" And her answer was like, "Well, he elected a woman to be the head of the small business fund, whatever it was." Okay, I'm great. A woman's doing it. Is she qualified? Is she doing anything for anyone?
And that's where the conversation needs to just begin and end.
Yeah.
I don't care, white, black, purple, brown, woman, transgender, male, whatever the hell you are. Are you qualified?
Right.
That's all I care about. Like, listen, I think I know sports pretty well. Am I qualified to be the next manager of the Yankees? Maybe on Facebook after the game I am. Not during the game.
Yeah.
Like, not. You're a big Giants fan, right?
Yeah.
I don't know if you'd be on the sidelines. Probably not. It's
Not at all.
It is what it is.
I think also you have to take into account, but you would go there with the intention of making the Yankees win and doing the right thing.
Make the Yankees
so
win
I think
again.
we also you're saying, are you qualified? Qualified is one aspect, but are you going to go in there to do the right thing also? Because I'm not going to say Kamala, is not qualified to be president. She's qualified. She's smart. She knows what she's doing.
She's good at lying.
But is she
covering
going
things
to
up.
do the right thing? That should be part of being qualified. And 90% of politicians, 99 maybe, are not qualified in that regards. They're there for special interests, their
And a
own
money-making
personal
scheme.
agenda. That should be part of, like, they're there to serve us.
Dude, just
right?
because it's a woman taking care of small business means nothing to anybody who
What I
owns
wanna-
a small
what I
business.
wanna
That doesn't
know is
matter.
That woman who's in charge of it, has she ever owned a small business before? Has she worked in a small business before?
What's her plan?
What does she know about it? What does she want to do? Where is she going to start? What's her grassroots campaign? Where is she going to help these small businesses? Is it going to be in major cities like New York and suburbs like Westchester? Or is she going to be helping them in fucking Idaho and fucking South Dakota?
We'll circle back to that.
Yeah, when there's nobody there. Like, what is your plan?
Yeah.
Tell
We'll
us
have
what
to
your
circle
plan
back to that.
It's a joke.
There's a funny situation going on right now with confirmations with, I don't know if you guys have heard of her, Neera Tanden. This is like real deep in the weeds of politics, but long story short, she's been nominated to be like head of the Congressional Budget Office or something like that. And historically, she's been super outspoken, rude, critical of progressives, Bernie, AOC sort of style policies. And it's been like noted over the years. But it's funny now because she's a woman and she's Indian, those same progressives are coming to her defense for her confirmation, where like
You're gonna ruin my career, but go you.
she's done nothing but shit on progressive ideals like Medicare for all and a lot of Bernie's proposals.
Hey,
but
then,
Bernie's
all the
like,
best luck to her.
Bernie seems to be willing to accept her nomination. Why? Because she's a woman, but she's not going to push any of the agenda that you guys want.
because if
they're willing to sell out their own agenda to get
when the next person on that committee tries to throw their name in the hat to run for president in 4 years, 8 years, 12 years, whenever, when they're up there in the debate stage, like, well, I was one of the only people to actually confirm a female Indian American head of this committee. So this is why I'm qualified. I should be qualified.
Yeah. Right. Their positions, their thoughts.
Yeah, but also at the same side, you have to sell out your position, because if you're like, no, fuck this bitch, you're sexist, you're racist, get out of here, we're going to cancel you now.
But that's what this world needs to get back to. Like, look. When I was, this is going to sound like a Sebastian Maniscalco skit, but it's the truth. Like, when I was growing up, my parents literally put me in basketball and CYA. Yeah. I can't shoot a basketball. I can't do any of it. I didn't play for like 2 games in a row. Guess what? My dad said, hey, you suck. Go in the yard and practice. He didn't go and yell at the coach.
Yeah.
Put my son in. He deserves to play, blah, blah, blah. No. It's the same thing with this fucking nonsense. Stop with the, oh, you just said no because she's a woman. No, she has
said no because she's not qualified.
She has literally not a single qualification. She used to work at fucking Target as the HR manager, and you want her to balance the budget for the fucking country? We owe $17 trillion to the fucking Decepticons.
Yeah,
what the fuck?
That's a whole nother.
Money going?
Yeah.
That's a whole nother.
There's no accountability for that whatsoever.
We've tried to get into sometimes like the economic like policy that the government has, where they seem to just print the money and we'll figure it out later.
Yeah, like
but
they digitally print it with the hopes it'll pop up somewhere.
They get to do that. Yet if I want to go and buy a house, Experian's going to tell me, nope, sorry, you can't do that.
Right.
But you could pay rent that's more than the mortgage.
Exactly.
But we're like so far away from even being able to have that conversation because there's so much other shit in the way.
Yeah.
Like that's even the Republicans do that. They know better. The budget, the deficit went up tremendously. So like we can't even have that conversation because that's not even on the radar.
It doesn't matter. Just fuck the budget.
Exactly. But that's the thing, and that's why I keep saying like this falling on Democrat, Republican, the middle is bad. Like, yes, I'm Republican, but there are Democratic policies I believe in.
Mm-hmm.
Like, listen,
welcome to Two Doom Men.
I have no
glad to have you on.
I have no problem with immigration. If you want to come here and legally pay your taxes, pay your dues, yes, I know the process is fucking miserable.
No, you're talking hate speech now.
It takes forever for people to get into the country legally, but why should I be the one that has to keep paying my taxes for these illegal aliens coming in? Come in legally. Let's figure out a plan. Let's fix the
plan for them to come in.
Yeah.
Right, so it can work.
Let's make it easier. How about this? When you reopen the economy and you take these restrictions out, you encourage small businesses. Hey, for every legal immigrant that you employ, we will give you a $1,500 tax credit, or $1,000 payroll credit, or $1,000 sales tax credit, whatever the hell it may be.
Sponsor somebody to become a legal, citizen.
That's it.
Yeah.
I'm sponsoring 2 of the guys in the kitchen. When I took over, they're like, "Yeah, Pete used to sponsor us." I'm like, "For how long?" They're like, 8 years. I'm like, "God damn, you're waiting 8 fucking years."
Yeah, it's insane.
Yeah.
They're like, "Yeah, we're trying." I'm like, I'm like, "Yeah, of course I'll sponsor you. I don't care. Like, I'm not gonna kick you out of here and not have a job. I'm not that hard."
Yeah, make things worse.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But like this whole falling on Republican, Democrat, it doesn't matter.
No, it's all falling on that now to just keep us divided.
Yeah, 100%. Keep pushing those narratives.
Yeah.
You keep people divided, so they're arguing on Twitter, they're arguing and whatnot, and then you could get away with well, we're working on the impeachment now. We're not working on anything that will actually benefit people or undoing the mistakes we made or passing some sort of legislation to help people. We're just
I think it's a great idea. Just keep focusing on Trump.
Yeah. Now that they don't have to pass a minimum wage increase, they don't have to give us a stimulus package, they don't have to do anything. What did I say, bro? After the impeachment took 33 days. I said they'd waste another week after that because they went on
Every
vacation, right?
Network.
And I saw the defense. Well, it's not vacation. They're going back to their constituencies to get AOC's
That's
working.
why
AOC's in Texas, serving her own needs.
That's why Cruz went down to Mexico.
Cruz is going to Cancun, literally going on a fucking vacation. Come on.
Kamala spent the weekend in California with her husband.
Yes, right. But she's not in Congress.
Did you see the welcoming parade that she had?
No.
Yeah, 2 people. I saw
There was 4 people.
Did you see on President's Day in Florida? Trump rolled down just a random street and there was 100,000 people out there.
Yeah, I mean, it's just it's all a joke.
Yeah.
It really is. It really is.
It is.
So with that being said, anything else, boys?
Anything else you want to talk about?
We can go on for hours.
Yeah, well, we usually do. That's why we got to cut ourselves
That's
off.
why we have to.
We start losing listeners. We're about over an hour now, right?
Hour and 20, yeah.
All right, you want to shout out the restaurant, give the address, everything?
We're here every day, 11:30 a.m. till 11 p.m. 8 West Main Street Pete's. Been here 43 years, going on 44, and just trying to make a difference, trying to help.
Perfect.
Good, man. Thank you for having us.
Please support my son needs diapers.
Listen, bro, thank you for having us. This was a good idea.
No problem.
The original idea definitely came from when you were you wrote that long essay about Cuomo. I love that.
Yeah, no, I mean, listen, I email him every morning.
Yeah,
every
that's
morning.
awesome.
That's what you have to do.
Yeah, and they sent the automated Happy Thanksgiving, Merry Christmas ones.
Yeah. And you just write back, fuck you.
Yeah.
If you run for office and you win,
press secretary.
Yes. Yeah. Well, not even that.
Circle back.
Come back.
Yeah, we'll circle back.
Come back and we'll actually have somebody, like an actual politician on.
Yeah, no, listen,
that'd be nice.
I'm always around for you, especially come the summertime. We could sit outside and actually enjoy.
Yeah, I'm down.
Cigars. Whiskey.
I would like to come back and just enjoy the restaurant, your business.
You
So
yeah, you could do that too.
I plan on eating something now, so.
Yeah, well, that's what. Once we clean up, I'm going right to the bar.
Well, you have to because you had to drink. So if you don't eat, you're going to get COVID.
True.
Shit, you're right.
That's
We're
right.
gonna need more drinks and
Abart's
chicken
not going to let us
tenders.
leave until we eat something. Now.
Yeah,
Just like
that's like the
bar in
vaccine.
Connecticut.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
All right.
Man, thank you guys for having me. This was fun.
Thank you for coming on. Thank you for opening up your restaurant to us and letting all this craziness go on. All right, Doom Nation, Make sure you check out Pete's Saloon if you're ever in the area in Elmsford, New York. Thank you guys for listening. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe. You can find us wherever Trump is banned on social media. Instagram is @2doomed_podcast. Everywhere else is @2doomed. Check us out wherever you can listen to major podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Apple iTunes, Apple Podcasts, all those good areas. And we'll be back with some more reviews and more episodes next week. And also, don't forget, that raffle's going on, PS5 Digital Edition. $55 in entry, 30 entries minimum.
Yes, we need people to enter, or the raffle won't take place.
Exactly, and we won't end up donating to the Small Business Fund. So that's the real push here.
I'll add to it. For every raffle that's sold, I'll give a $55 gift card for everyone that enters.
There you go.
Thank you. There we go, man.
So,
thank you.
Try to get some people to donate.
Awesome.
All right.
Appreciate it.
Perfect. All right,
Bye.
boys. Thank you.